let's see what it is. Ah, oh, it's
Changeling.
mine.
That's okay.
Do you want me to redraw?
No, no, no.
A pause. Do you think that we should do like some sort of like spoiler, like
Spoilers in words at the
yeah,
very
basically.
beginning. Hi, and welcome to the fifth episode of 2Chicks 2Cents. We are halfway through our first season, and we're going to be talking about the TV show Severance that we've been talking about this entire time up till now. I hope you're as excited as we are. I'm your host, Tiffany.
And I'm Delilah. If you missed last week's episode, we did talk about the movie Day Shift. If you want to check that out, go ahead and just look at the links below. It's going to be all there with all of our socials.
Yes. So, Severance. This was another one of Delilah's picks.
It was.
Tell us about it. Tell us why you picked it the first time, and then your overall first impression as you were watching it.
So my older brother actually like recommended it because I had like a free trial for Apple TV and they have Apple TV at their house, and he was like, "Oh, this show's really good." And my brother doesn't often suggest shows because he's not really like a TV and shows person. He's like one of those go 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 people. So I was like, "That's weird that he's suggesting a show." So me and my husband were like, "Oh, let's try it one day." Like we were bored and we put it on, and from the first episode, we were like, "What the heck is going on?" And then we finished it in one day. And we were both just sitting there like, what the hell did we just watch? Like, it was amazing. We were like chatting about it for the rest of the day. And then like randomly we still bring it up and like we like wonder things until like they announced that there was going to be a second season. We're like, heck yeah. So then whenever we decided to do this podcast, I was like, oh, we need to write down some movie and show recommendations. I was like, oh my God, I have to put Severance because I don't think that Tiffany's seen it. And then I was excited to watch it again, like to like with like like not fresh eyes because I knew what was gonna happen, but like different eyes. Like I noticed different things as seeing it the second time, and so that's why. That's it. Such a good show.
So great. It was so exciting to watch it again. Like, I definitely recommend if you have seen it, watch it again. Because, like Delilah said, there's so much that you're going to catch. Tell us what the show is about.
All right, really quick. In this world, they've have this program called Severed or Severance, where you go work at this company, and the whole point of it is that your work life and your home life are completely separate. So they've severed some part in their brain. So whenever they're at work, they're at work. They don't remember anything about their life outside of work, and then when they leave work they don't remember anything about their life at work, and that's the whole gist of the show, honestly. But in this world or universe or whatever, for some reason, the public have a problem with this program. They don't like it, and then like the rich and the people that are for this program, they love it and they want to integrate it into other parts of the world. But that's just kind of a side story, even though you would think that's the main story of the show. It's not. It's like a side story. The main thing that we're following is the main guy, Mark, and he's at work. He's a severed person. So whenever he goes to work, he doesn't remember his home life. When he goes home, he doesn't remember his work life. And it's just following him, his work friends, and then the couple of people that he knows outside of work, and just coming to this conclusion of if he wants to continue to work at this place and be severed. And then also, he's trying to remember, not really remember, figure out what he even does for work. In both instances, at his work, he's trying to figure out what the hell am I doing, and then also at home, he's trying to figure out what is, they call it an innie and an outie. He's trying to figure out what does his innie do at work.
I wanted to comment on how insane it would be to be an innie, to be the person that is working severed. Like, you literally finish your workday, step into the elevator, and then you're back at work because you don't have anything from leaving work to go home. You don't have any of those memories. You don't have any of that experience. You just wake up when they come back to work. So you never, ever leave. So
Yeah.
just so
And
you
like
know,
they're
this to give you
basically
some
like
perspective.
figuring out that it's the next day just based off of that their clothes are different, and they're saying like just try and focus on the effects of sleep, like if you feel well rested and stuff, that is about it. That's how they figure out like what day it is and how long they've been there and just all that. It's so wild. It's such a different concept. And like to really think of, if you were the any version of yourself, your life is literally only like however long you're at this job. So say you're only there for 2 hours a day, your whole life is just 2 hours a day. It's like you're waking up only for 2 hours. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah, and you have no recollection of your life before. Like you don't even know your name when you wake up. And that's insane too.
More and more, like you go on in the show, you ran like you see him in his day-to-day life, like in the world, not at work, and like the feeling or the vibe towards the severance program, and like people are openly protesting it and all this stuff. And for me personally, if I was in that world, I don't understand why they care so much. If this is strictly something that's happening to people that want it to happen to them, like they want to go work at this job and they don't want to know anything about their real life, and they want to have that severed experience, live your life. That don't bother me. That don't got nothing to do with me. Like that's the thing that I just didn't understand. And like there's just all this controversy, and like it's like this political everything, and like that's part of the story. Like, and I just don't understand why everybody has such strong opinions about things that have nothing to do with them. And you get to choose if you want to do it or not. You don't have to work at that company. Like they don't, because in the beginning it's just the company that's doing it. They're not, you don't have to work there. I don't understand. And then also within that company, it's a specific section that does that. It's not even everybody there at that company that does that. So I just didn't understand why everybody cared so bad and had such strong opinions about it. But that's the same thing, in our world, like with women's rights, gay rights, race, all that shit. It has nothing to do with you. So I don't understand why it's bothering you so much.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do it.
Yeah. I do sort of see why this one, like I agree with you. The first time I watched it, I was like, why are they revolting or whatever or protesting? Um, and I think maybe for me, I would be like, well, what are they up to that it needs to be that secret that people don't even remember and they can't be a witness or testify, um, at least not even without them having the control to like flip the switch or whatever, this technology even,
Yeah.
like I'm sure it's patented technology and nobody has access to it. So for one company to have that kind of power, I think that that is very, very questionable because then it seems like they have no accountability. They have no one checking that power. So I would just be really, really suspicious. Not, I wouldn't be like rioting in the streets about it or anything, but definitely distrusting of all of their products that they put out. I'd be like, what's in this? If you need to be so secretive about what you do, I don't want nothing to do with that. Who's your favorite character?
Dylan, for sure.
I love Dylan.
So like there's only four people that work with Mark, and it's like Mark, Dylan, Irving, and then Helly. And Dylan is, he's sort of young-ish. I want to say he gives me like late 30s vibes. And he's just funny because everything, like they have no clue what they're doing. They're on a computer looking at numbers all day, but he's so competitive about it, and he's always got like a quick little one-liner, and he's so like a little bit aggressive, but like in a good way, like just in the things that he says, like in the things that he thinks, like he's just like so chill and funny, and it's not that serious, and he's always going to be the best, and you're never going to
Yes.
top him. Don't even try. That's what Dylan is, so funny. Love Dylan.
My favorite was Irving, actually. He was so serious, and like some of the things that came out of his mouth just cracked me up. Like, so Mark has a conversation in the women's restroom with Helly. Like he goes in after her because he can tell she's up to something and he wanted to like help her, stop her, or whatever. So he's like, I'm coming in now. And so he goes into the bathroom. And he's having this conversation. She's really kind of rude to him and mean and aggressive. And like the day before, he didn't show up to work because he called in sick. So Mark comes back out of the bathroom and Irving was standing there and he pulls him aside and he's like, I listened to the whole conversation. He's like, I'm troubled by you having such high stress exchanges so fresh off your food poisoning. And it's like the loathing with which she spoke to you. I don't know. I just thought all of that stuff, the way he was so dramatic about everything, just cracked me up, and he was always doing it.
I did think that it was kind of funny, like in Irving and Helly's case, in my opinion, when their innies and their outies were such extreme, complete opposite versions of themselves. And so I thought it was weird that like once they got severed, they were like complete opposite, like in their feelings and the way that they acted versus like their innie and their outie. And like in Helly's case, she comes from this Lumen family and she really believes in it. And honestly, this Lumen company feels a little culty to me, and she's like there in the cult loving it. But then her innie is so against it, anarchy, everybody, like let's burn this building to the ground, I will die before I will stay here. And you're just like, okay. And then Irving's case, we don't find out until the very last episode. Irving is any so for the company, do the job by the book, every single little thing or whatever. But then when we see his outie at home or whatever, when his innie goes to his home and sees all of his stuff, finds out that he's been investigating the company and that he's been, like investigating the people that work there and all that stuff. And I'm like, that's totally not the vibe that your innie gives at work. And it's wild that that is actually the case.
It's also wild that like he was painting that door inside the building. And it makes sense to me because he is a very sensitive individual. He appreciates art, he's creative, and then for him to be on the outside being a painter, that definitely is kind of is synonymous.
Yes.
And then the fact like that he could kind of sense and see something that was happening there. That I thought was really interesting for
I
like
thought it was very interesting whenever I saw it. I'm like, oh my God, that's the door. But then I was wondering, when the hell is
when did
Irving
he
see
go?
that door?
Yeah. I wonder if it looks similar to the one to the break room because they do have another dark passageway. Or maybe he's just picking up not something from a memory, but like how some people like tune into like the future or like connect with
Possible.
someone else who's, experiencing that. Something like that, maybe. But I don't know. Very fascinating. I really want to see. It was so cool. Like watching it the second time, you see that black paint under Irving's nails, and you know exactly what it is, and why when he hallucinates, he sees black paint everywhere. I thought that was interesting. So, what was your favorite part?
But my favorite part actually happens a couple times. This company that they work in, I don't know if all the company is like this or if it's just their section, but it's like the computers and just the everything, their desks, everything that's around them, it looks very like in the 80s or 70s. It's like super old. And then so like their incentives are all kind of old. And so like randomly like they get this incentive or like a melon party or you get a waffle party, like all these things, like it's like they're really weird. But
It was like
and
a
they have an
five
old
minute
guy.
dance,
Yeah,
5 minute
5 minute
dance. What was
dance party.
experience?
It's so awkward. It's so funny to me, and just like the way that like they're dancing around the five of them in a room, and like Mr. Milchek only comes in to you get this dance experience, then he dances for you. Like it's so weird. And like, oh, you're gonna get a melon party. He comes in with like a tray of melons It was like so awkwardly funny to me, and every single time they got one of these experiences or something, or Mr. Milchick came in, I was like, Mr. Milchick, you are so weird.
I thought it just on that note of those parties, they had like an egg bar at the dance experience one, and it's just all these really cool little like egg treats. Anyway, Irving, we already talked about how much he loves the company and he's so like loyal. Well, he was having a rebellious moment. And in his rebellion, he took an egg and stuck it in a book and shut it. And that was his form of like rebelling against the
Oh,
company. I
he
thought that
did
was
so
so
much.
funny. My favorite part was um, when they start plotting, like in episode 6, like they're finally starting to connect all these pieces. Dylan gets woken up as an innie in his outie body. And that was very like insane for him, like because he wakes up and he's in his closet, Mr. Milchick's in front of him asking him for stuff, and then his son comes in the room and hugs him, and he's like, what the fuck, you know? And then they shut him off, and um he kind of has an outburst at work, but then after that they all start talking and they all start coming together and like and sharing information or experiences, and that's when they start plotting to figure out like more of what's going on, and that is when it gets like really, really, really exciting, and I think that was my favorite part.
That's when
It was
I'm
like,
like, finally, like you each have a piece of the
yes,
puzzle.
yes,
Say it. And like you guys
yes,
all know that you're all feeling like suspicious or that you're all doing shit that you shouldn't be doing.
yeah,
Share the information.
yeah.
When Dylan gets like a little aggressive with Mr. Milchick, I laughed out loud because Dylan like starts fighting him, but then he bites him, and then Mr. Milchick gets up and he's like, "You broke the skin," and he's like
Yeah.
bleeding, and it's just like so funny. Like the way that like they're talking about it, like, and then Dylan's just there like a rabid dog, and I'm like, Dylan, calm down.
And he gets
But
away with it too, because
understandable,
Milchek,
yeah,
yeah, he did something
wasn't
wrong. He
supposed to
wasn't
do
supposed to
it.
do that. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then also it's crazy because Milchek like wakes him up and he's like, "Where's that thing that you stole or whatever?" And it's still there in the office, like whatever. But like when you see what he stole, it's just like a little flash card, and it looks like a fighting stance or something. Like it's like
Like
it
teach
was
you how to fight, like step by
yeah.
step, and this is one step.
Why is that secure information? Like that's another part of like what the hell is this company doing?
I love that he hid it in the bathroom under the toilet.
Yeah. And then I love that he didn't even, he just real quick, he's like looking around, he's like, it's in the bathroom. Like, where the hell am I? What's going
Yeah.
on? And they did such a good job in this show of really like meeting
Building up.
every kind of emotion and the build up and everything. So when you get to that last 1 minute, I'm like edge of my seat, even
Me
the second time, edge
too.
of my seat, screaming like, hurry up.
Uh-huh.
Hurry, and that's what like all of my notes, like everything, I'm like, they need to move faster. I'm like, they need to move faster. What are you doing? Like, come on, spit it out. And I'm just like praying, hoping in season 2, but I feel like they're gonna like give us a prequel or some shit in season 2. Like, I'm like, give me the goods. And I'm just praying that they understood that like, and we haven't even got into this. Mark's whole reason for going into the severance program is that his wife died 2 years ago and he couldn't handle mourning all day every day. So then he decides to go do the severance program because he thinks that at least for 8 hours a day I cannot be mourning my wife and I cannot be thinking about her and all this stuff and not be sad. But he doesn't know that his innie is sad and everything. He just has no clue why. He's so disassociated and everything as an innie, and he has no clue why. And so he's there. He has his coworkers. They have the other couple people that work there, but they're like a HR person. Basically, is this lady who he feels connected to. He has no clue why. Whenever his innie finally gets out and sees his real life and sees a picture of his ex-wife and everything, finds out that she is his wife, and he's like, he thinks that, my wife's been dead for 2 years. She's in this program with me. Why do they have my wife? And then so he's running out and he's trying to tell his sister, like, and then they're about to shut off the innie's, like, outside experience, basically. And he's like, she's alive. I'm like, I was like screaming, like, thank God he got it out, but he didn't get a name out. And I'm like, well, he's holding the picture of her.
He's
Hopefully, you
holding
know,
the picture.
I'm like, hopefully they can put that together. And I'm like, I need the first episode of the second season to start right there.
I hope it does because I noticed that in these episodes, as soon as something dramatic happened, they went right to it, and I appreciated that. I didn't have the same understanding of Mark's character that you did. Like, I know that they said later on, like, your Innie's sad, he just doesn't know it. Um, his character to me, I feel like he was like the perfect candidate for Severance. Like his Audi was completely fine, not knowing anything, and his Innie was very happy. He was very cheerful. He took his job seriously. He's like, we're doing good work. And he always had these like silly little giggles when like dumb small things would happen. Mark seemed happy, and I didn't notice any sort of additional connection to the wellness person who happened to be his wife. Um, he seemed to just treat her like he treated everybody else. And so it was a total shock for me to have that reveal that that was her, that that was his wife. Um,
I
and
can't, that was shocking for me to realize that that was his wife, but it made sense to me because he did, like, whenever he went and saw her for the last time and he was like, I can talk to somebody, I can do something, like, let me help you. He wasn't that way towards anybody else, even in
but
his.
she was being fired because of something he did. That or he thought that that was what was happening because he
But
and
so,
Helly left.
yeah, so Helly's situation, he like, she was doing things and they were blaming him for it and everything, but his reaction wasn't the same as the other girls. You know, like, she was being fired, whatever. He's like, let me go talk to them, let me go do something or whatever. And I feel like his reaction whenever bad things were happening to Heliar was not the
Well,
same, even
those
though
were
he
self-inflicted totally
agreed,
with her.
agreed,
Yeah,
agreed.
yeah, I just think that he felt really, really guilty and sad. And of course, I mean, I'm not saying that that wasn't an indicator. It's just for me, like I didn't see that as I like you more than I realized till just now or anything like
Yeah,
that. I think he was just genuinely like, this is my fault and you did not deserve this. But with Helly, it was like he was trying to protect her and trying to take some of the responsibility and some of her punishment and stuff. But there was a point that he reached where he's like, I can't save you now.
yeah,
You done it now.
yeah, which
Yeah.
he did. That girl.
So Delilah, is there anything else you want to say about this wonderful, fantastic, amazing show? It was
Honestly,
great.
this show is so unlike anything that I've ever seen. And I think that the cast and the producers and the directors and everybody did such a good job coming up with such a fresh idea. And the way that they executed it was amazing. And I have such high hopes for the second season. And I feel like I haven't felt that way in a long time. And that's it. Like, no pressure to them or anything, because I know, like, a lot of people like this show, but good lord.
Yes, I'm so hopeful. Like the whole time I was watching it the second time, I was like, man, I really hope that they had the answers already to this question that they started. That they knew where they were going to go with it so that it doesn't, kind of like they're scrambling to figure out how to explain that one thing or this. I truly believe that they did because just even in evidence of how they wrote the first one, um, there was stuff in the beginning that they revealed at the end. So I really do believe that these writers have great like foresight and they're gonna wrap it up really well. So that's my hope. That's my
I
hope for this
really
show.
hope that
Yeah.
I really hope. And if you choose to try and watch this movie, especially based off, like, our recommendation,
Show.
please let us know. And also please get through the first and the second episode, because it is the definition of a slow burn. And I feel like after that second episode is whenever you're really going to be hooked, and you're going to start having questions within yourself, and you're going to want to know what's going on, so then you will continue to finish it. It's only a 9 episode season, and it's pretty, it's quick. It's 9 episodes, but I do feel like the first episode is just so much getting to know people, and a lot of the people are
Strange, you're like, what's going
unlikable.
on?
Yeah, so you would be like, oh, I don't really want to finish this show. What the hell are they talking about? Promise you, get through the second episode, and you're gonna be hooked. You're gonna want to know what's up, because even after watching the first season 2 times now, I have so many questions, and like what the hell is up with these goats? Why are there baby
And
goats?
yes, yeah, exactly. They never explained that.
They never explain that, and like there's just so much for us to get in the second season. It's so phenomenal. That's it.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Phenomenal.
Like
10
they
out of
have
10.
like,
Same.
of course there are things in there that like you're not gonna like, or people you're not gonna like, or maybe you don't agree with
But they
this
fit.
way or that way. But everything fits together, and it has everything that you need for like a good long running show. Like it sparks a little bit of everything within you to make you want to keep watching, and that's what we're basing
Yeah.
off of. Not if you agree with the stuff that's happening. Like this
Even
is
if it
good.
only lasted like 4 seasons or something and they wrapped it up real
Mm-hmm.
well, like I'm cool with that because it was so good, so well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
And
was
for
just
me, I
very
prefer those
refreshing.
shorter ones. For me, I prefer those shorter ones just because like sometimes the longer a show runs, the more like at the end it kind of
It
like
just kind of ruins it.
runs out of steam and you're just like,
Yeah.
meh.
Yeah.
I'd rather you end on a high note. Me too. It is time for the next drawing for a TV
Oh,
show.
yes.
Ah!
Since we finished our show Severance, we are going to draw for a new show, and we will be talking about that show in season 10. We
Episode
did
10.
get, yeah, episode 10. We did get a new movie recommendation, so I'm going to add that into the movies, and then I'll draw the show. So, Total Recall, the old one. I don't know who suggested this one, though.
This is my friend. My friend. She left a comment in our on our video.
Nah, but I am writing it and putting it into. This is for the movies. This one's for the shows.
I have big fingers crosses.
It's
I don't know
been
what I'm
always
saying.
my picks for some reason, and like you see me. Let's see.
Oh, that's okay. No, because at the beginning wasn't didn't I have like two of mine or something in the movies?
Yeah. Let's see what it is. Ah, oh, it's
Changeling.
mine.
That's okay.
You want me to redraw?
No, no, no. The only way. No.
So this show, I watched 1 episode of it, and it's
Okay.
another. I think it's pretty short. It's another Apple TV one. A changeling is usually when like either fairies or nymphs or any kind of like fae or whatever, when they trade a human baby for one of their babies.
Oh.
Usually that's what a changeling is. And so my sister-in-law suggested this show to me, and I believe that's what's happening. And it's with what is his name, Lakeith Stanfield. I like him, and I feel like everything that he always acts in is like really good.
Name
So
something that he's been in, because I this his name sounds familiar, but I can't picture him.
he
Terrible
has
with
been
names.
in, did you watch Atlanta?
Yes.
He's in
Oh, which
Atlanta.
which one? Was he the the skinny guy, the tall skinny one who
Yeah, he plays
was like I was
Darius.
on drugs? Darius, I love him. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sweet.
And then he's
Cool,
also
cool.
in like Sorry to Bother You. He's in Get Out. The new Haunted Mansion on Disney, so good. He's in that.
He's not this isn't the show where like this woman had like that thing around her wrist and she
Uh-huh.
wasn't supposed to take it. That is it?
Yeah, and he cut, yeah, that's that.
Oh, I was mad at him in the previews for doing that. I was like,
Yeah.
don't cut that. Don't
And
cut
I
that.
watched the preview, and I was like, why would you do that if she said don't cut it and then you cut it? So that's
Yeah.
the show.
Cool. All right, I'm down.
And this is gonna be fun because I've only seen one episode of this show. I'm assuming Tiffany has seen it, so we're both haven't seen. We don't know
Right.
what's gonna happen at all. I feel like that hasn't happened in a little while.
No, no, exactly. So make sure you tune in with us next week. We're going to be going back to our movies, and this one that we are going to be reviewing is Mortal Kombat. Reviewing the new Mortal Kombat, but both of us, were actually going to be watching the old one as well. So if you want to do that with us, then go for it.
Yeah, so if you want to watch Mortal Kombat with us, you can check it out a lot of different places. Netflix, Max, Google, Prime, everywhere pretty much has it. We want to watch the old one also just because we thought it would be fun. Tune in next week and chat about that one with us.
Yes. We will talk to you then. Bye.